Welcome, it's Mark, and I'm joined for this game by William.
Hello.
And as you can see from the screen, we're actually going to be commenting our other games we played. So we're at the Auckland Regional for 2016. This is the third round, and I'm playing Weyland Core ID, and William's got Sync, NB and Sync.
Ooh, that's an ugly hand there. 3 programs. I think I'll mulligan that. If I can't remember what I started with.
No, that was your mulligan.
That was the mulligan.
I've cut the mulligan out.
Oh, okay. Okay, so not a great mulligan for Hayley.
You got Replicator. That's part of the puzzle, but
you need to really get the econ going. The one nice thing is Astrolabe.
So I'd read only a little bit about the Hayley deck, and it said that it did have a bit of setup. So I'm going for thinking I just have to rush as fast as I can. So I just start with the hostile takeover, get 7 in a bad pub. I can't remember exactly what was in my hand, but I think I did have an archer. So more of an incentive to get that out.
Yeah, and also because I have no burst economy in the deck, I have to kind of respect your. There we go. I put down the wrong card there. Should be in 2 hardware. I have to respect your C-Source Scorch threat. So even though you have an open R&D, I can't run on it. In fact, if you're against a camera Hayley, you can just go really all out. Don't even defend R&D early on.
Yeah, it did seem that protecting R&D first turn, the classic Ice hedge fund is not so much done really. People think that speed is more important now.
As I recall, I had a slow start to this one. I'll just be discarding programs for the first while. The Atmans are actually a bit of a dead draw. They're mostly online when they're in your heap, because you mostly play them out through Clone Chip or an SMC.
Yeah. So I just did a purple card that gets money in a card.
Is that a green level?
Yeah, sorry, yeah. The name had escaped me. Yeah, green level, and then more money. I did have kill pieces in my hand, but I didn't have any tagging or consulting visit in my hand, so there was sort of no threat of getting a scorch.
With consulting visit, it makes it that much more dangerous, doesn't it?
I had the deck sort of perform quite well in the first 2 rounds to do that, a consulting visit on tap pretty much, but this one was a little bit disjointed, but I think I got the agendas as fast as I could hope, I think, but you did sort of ramp up quite quickly as well.
Yeah, that was a better turn for me, so I drew the Tech Writer. That's kind of the key piece there. So with Replicator, Bazaar, and Tech Writer, I can kind of go off here if I have just one spy camera. So it'll be, you play a spy camera, the Replicator triggers, you play the extra copy using Bazaar trigger, which gets another one. I think I'll probably do it right here. Click 1 diesel.
I remember being demoralized, I think, the first time it started.
I remember that. I was wondering if this is a negative player experience or not, with this Hayley deck. Because it's not very interactive at first, and then the end game is just devastating. If you're, because you're basically a remote deck, right? You're not fast advance or pure kill or asset spam, so that's exactly what Hayley beats.
I never find games as like a negative play experience. I always find them quite interesting. But I did remember feeling like my ice is useless, and I've got no money to kill you.
You had some of the best ice in the game, as I recall.
I couldn't set up a remote like Josiah did, but
this call from you I thought was quite interesting. Was that localized product line?
Oh, and I went and got the archers.
when you went and got the archers. I guess you were short on ice and you're thinking you need to get a remote up. But that was like that's a lot of resources to put into something like that.
Yeah, I could have just gone and got consulting visits, so that anytime you were low on money.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a real scorch threat, you can just put agendas in the open. I can't get them.
Okay, there we go. Misplay number 1. What was I getting archers for?
Did I misplay there? I'm not sure if I drew the Astrolabe card. Might have.
Yeah, I think your board was invisible to me pretty much. I was just seeing once the tech rider came, the technical rider.
I've been thinking a lot about Archer lately. It's a pretty huge piece of ice, but with that rush strategy, I mean, to give up points, you're kind of easing up the 7-point race pressure.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It does knock it back.
There we go. So a sports hopper and Hayley ability spy camera, which will get out every spy camera in the deck.
Speedy.
So if I recall correctly, I did a move which Callum should have told me about, which is don't be afraid to use the other ability on spy camera. The look at your top 6 cards and reorganize them.
That's a click in, is it? A click in.
It takes a click, yeah. So it's not. It feels really bad, but you can basically put 3 good cards on top, draw those, and then trigger your replicator again to shuffle. So just think of it as avoiding one dead card that you would have drawn otherwise.
But did you do it? No. Or are you still doing the?
Not yet.
No. Do you think the amount of times you're doing these sequences that there's more increased chances of misplays, or because when I was watching it seemed you had everything under control, but is there a lot to sort of keep track of, or you just when you hit the spy camera it's just boom flooding out?
Yeah, like once you realize how easily you can go off, like for example, just that bizarre replicator and tech rider, that's good. That's combo. And then the other thing is from this position, or even where I was before, using the levy a bit early, like not when you run out of deck, just when you want to combo again.
Yeah.
Could be quite good.
So I think in this point I'm thinking with the SMC, there's a slight chance of having, if I've got any chance with 2 pieces of ice, 1 sentry, 1 barrier, will they blocked out by something, but I think you did the clone chips. Yeah, there we go. And that ruined that plan.
I'm playing very conservatively here because I feel like with you at 1 point, I'm going to be pretty safe as long as I don't get scorched out. So to get the triple hopper out was a bit expensive and slowed me down. But yeah, just playing not to lose to the flat line.
So the Atlas.
Okay, so at 3 points, I've got to start paying attention pretty soon here.
Yeah, so if I didn't have the archers and they were just gear check ice, then at least I wouldn't be going backwards in points.
Did you know that I was running the Panchatantra sharpshooter rig?
No, that was a surprise.
Yeah, because the sharpshooters cut through it.
That was probably the first demoralizing part in the game. Wow, sharpshooter and go round and round again.
So am I looking for Inti here? I'm trying to recall. Against Bailiff.
But realizing how, like, with copious amounts of money, delay doesn't even matter. That int is 0, one strength. Just
Right. So there went SMC to put the sharpshooter out, and then the Inti came out of hand at instant speed, thanks to Hayley's ability.
and from memory, I think I put like a vanilla in front of the archer.
Oh, and you didn't end up pressing that?
No, I just never bothered because.
Yeah, because of Inti. Inti's great right now. Resistor and wraparound out of MBN.
Yeah.
Against ETF, you're pretty much either next Silver or Eli, which Atman at 4 will take care of.
I've had 2 games recently, and next has been all over the place. And I've slotted Sherman M3, and that's just been interesting for taking out all those subs on the next Silver.
Is that 2 to break any number of barrier breakers and barrier subroutines? Yeah.
And don't have to pump.
Okay, so I've got a light remote lock and a light R&D lock on you right now. Checking every card with the cameras.
Yeah, I think I had a Scorched, 2 traffics, and I think I might have had a global food in hand as well.
So how are you landing the traffics? Is it a mid-seasons tag?
Yeah, it's all. There's only 1 card for tagging in the deck, and that's the mid-season. So I raised the archer just on some slim hope that the sharpshooter might get used quite a bit.
Yeah, it's with the 3 clone chips out. It's
Yeah, that's a demoralizing point number 1. The sharpshooter 3 clone chips.
It's tough because this rig is, well, the Hayley rig is quite strong. It's almost impossible to make even 2 strong servers. You can sometimes set up 1 server so that it's a bit tricky for them. Or if you can make them run twice in a turn, because the Panchatantra is only once per turn.
So is the only chance to kind of knock the key pieces out to stop it going round again, to stop the spike cameras coming out again?
There are also windows that open up if you know how to look for them.
I think I found one in this game, but that was probably maximizing a slight misplay of yours. But
yes, I opened up a big one in a few minutes here.
Do you think, is it susceptible to, like, I know you have the clot to protect, but I mean, a Cronus project getting scored at the right time, just killing your heat?
Well, it wouldn't be great, but you know, early on when you're setting up, it's a lot of extras that you're discarding.
Yeah.
And then mid-late game, you should be able to check every remote.
So I think all I've done is put a cheap code gate in front of the barrier, just looking to see, but then not knowing about Panchatantra.
And Hayley is pretty much fully online here. The triple tech rider, or sorry, tech trader.
So that's
okay.
This is the point, yeah.
This was my really big mistake. So one of the things with Hayley is right before you levy, you want to check your board and see what would be better to be shuffled in, to be used again. So I used up all my cameras, which is good, cash them in for money. But what I really needed to do was sacrifice 1 clone chip to bring out an SMC
Because you've only got one SMC in there.
Only have the one SMC. Because right now I have no way to get my rig mid-run. Like, actually, the rig I have is kind of garbage.
And
well, strangely, it works all right for your server, but
and weirdly enough, I did see that.
Lucky that it was an Archer there. You saw that, did you?
I saw the SMC disappear, and I was like, right, I've got to try something. And I think it was. Luckily, think it might have been a 3-pointer I was trying. It was SMC.
Yeah, I was just so focused on setting up a few other things before the levy that I'd missed kind of the looking at the board state. Like I was busy playing solitaire. But there is a solid
yeah. So I think that's
recovery mechanism here.
I mean, you start digging.
Yeah, I'll be digging hard. I think I get rid of a sports hopper here, if I remember correctly. Because I have to find that SMC if I want to run here. So after you levy with Hayley, your chances, I don't know what the math is, but probably about 75% chance that you have one camera in your hand and then you instantly go off again. Post levy. So I'm thinning the deck with the spy camera, playing another replicator just to thin it even more, because I have to find that SMC.
This is me trying to find any loophole. Kind of demoralizing.
It is a little tricky how the Hayley triggers interact with the bizarre trigger there.
But having heard it again, it's you control the trigger points, so you just alternate them. So there's the sports hopper.
There goes the hopper, digging hard. So an interesting thing with the Hayley deck is, like when I first looked at it, I was like, no multi-access. That's that's be one of the core things of runner decks for years, right? Is you have to have at least R&D multi-access.
Yeah.
But just keeping track of the top card with spy cameras gives you enough control that it's you can score it. You can get to 7 points. Okay, so pretty desperate. I've drawn 9 cards this turn. After thinning
two clicks, so diesel, and what was the click to go spy camera.
So the other thing is I've given up my scorch protection, but you're only at 8 credits, so I figure I can out-credit you. So here's a bit of a Hail Mary. I throw out the Gordian blade and hope it's correct.
That was the answer. Because I'm looking at Quandary going, what?
This actually isn't a bad rig because I've got barriers and code gates covered, and then between AP and Destroyer, that's a lot of sentries.
Yeah,
actually
so
gained money on that
one. I had it all hoped on the code gate breaker there. The code gate ice. So there's the second demoralizing point. I can't keep you out. And you've got money for days.
Now I've got an admin in the archives there, so I'm back online.
So I don't know. I had no idea what my out was going to be. I think I was just. I don't know if I ever thought the point. Let's just start feeding you agendas and get on to the second game, or whether. Yeah, I just didn't have an idea what it would be.
Yeah, this is really tough because it's the classic Weyland problem. It's how do you close out a game?
Hmm.
And here I've like exploded with cash. I've got the remote lock. There's just not too many ways for you to. It, like you can maybe get something fancy like a snare working.
This doesn't have the things like 24/7 news, or just to get something that where it doesn't involve what your board state is.
Yeah.
Because the hoppers, you don't have any hoppers down at the moment, do you?
No.
They've gone around again.
This is like reminds me of the way I used to defend myself against Weyland with that old Chaos Theory deck. Is just crank your opus, and you get to 10 credits more than them, and you can. That's as good as a Plascrete.
Yeah.
It doesn't work against NBN as well, with all their alternate tagging mechanisms, but. Did you like this move? So you went install Jackson, draw 4, and the political operative took him out. Did you see that coming, or were you aware of the risk?
No, I just like I wasn't worried. I didn't think I had any agendas, and like to have to overdraw to bin agendas.
So how many agendas did you have in hand here? Do you remember? It took you a while to decide this thing.
Oh yeah, the piles are trying to figure out. I think I had 2.
And you
And
had
I
to
was
keep
just this is
both,
the point where
basically.
I was trying to figure out how to keep the kill and the agendas,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the answer was I couldn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. I often found that with supermodernism, your hand size gets quite full, so you have to be quite disciplined in deck construct. I mean, this isn't what the problem you're having, but during deck construction, any cards that just kind of hang around your HQ will compete with your kill package.
Hmm. I think I was really resigned in this one at this point. And looking back now, that localized product line was a big misplay from me.
What would you normally localize product line for?
Well, that's the thing. This was pretty raw as far as number of gameplays that I'd done on this deck, so it hadn't really sunk in what the key targets were. But
Right.
I did pick up the night before that I should play Scorches freely, because in a normal game the Scorches can go around the first time, Jackson them back in, then Consulting Vision them back out again. So I don't have to be holding them for the kill. And I did that. I think I did that in the game after this. Just Scorched to 0 hand size. And
What kind of defense did they have? I've had worse, or
no, I didn't come up I've had worse at all, I think, in this tournament. I think Plascrete was one that I had to come up against the Plascrete. But yeah,
Plascrete? Oh, it's
just Scorch to get rid of it. And
blast your way through it.
yeah. Oh, in that sense, when you're not going to get killed, I do think that people should just ditch the hand first, then
Yeah.
use the counters, because you can bring your hand size back up again, and you've still got the counters.
So here's the quick install double advance.
Oh,
I
the
do have
clot.
a clot there, but I'd have to disrupt my rig a bit. So
Yeah, we were both. I was like, you could stop me from scoring this, and you said, "Oh, I don't mind." And
yeah,
like,
yeah. No, honestly, I wasn't in full clot mode. That like if you just said install advance pass, I would have just taken my turn.
mm.
So yeah, I knew I should clot, but I was like, that's fine.
Because I end up killing it anyway for another archer, which is just that little hope I had that it might use some clone chips. But no. I don't know. I don't think I've ever conceded, because I think there's just valuable information also to play it out, even if I know I'm going to lose.
Yeah, especially if you're a kill deck, you never know what you're going to get.
But look at your pile of cash. I think I asked you to. Can you clean that up for me, please? Yeah, this is the point now.
Yeah, that really got out of control with those tech writers.
And then when all the fires come in, I just like, okay.
Now, am I remembering correctly that against you, I dodged a snare from the top with spy camera?
No, that was
against Josiah.
I didn't have any
Previous.
snares. Because I guess with the localized product line, you would have realized a lot of my influence just went with that as well.
Mm. So how'd you do on the day? You did quite well because you came third, was it?
Yeah, in the Swiss, you were the only one that defeated me, and Blaine took me out of the elimination.
And how many flat lines of the in the Swiss?
I think it was just one. I think I scored out against Envy in the first round, and against Amber, I think I scored out as well. That freedom through equality did work in this game.
Yeah, it's a good card. The tricky thing is, it's usually you discard it on your first pass through the deck. But it's a pretty consistent 7th point, I think, with the spy cameras.
Yeah, well, all I think the 2 hostile takeovers are gone from my deck, so now it's all 2 or 3 pointers. So it's next agenda wins, and put my back self down to 2. Whereas if I had the 2 hostiles, then I'd also be on 4. But no, with that rig, there's no remote. It can keep you up.
So I'm playing it pretty slow here. I'm like, for example, I'm so confident you won't score that I just played the freedom from equality. Freedom from equality? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Without having the agenda spotted on top of R&D.
Oh, okay. Like in case I'd played if I played another hostile or.
Yeah. Well, even if you play a hostile, then I've got the clot.
Yeah.
But without the medium or something, I can't close it out any faster than the agendas drift to the top. So 35 credits, 36.
So I think I'm just letting agendas pile up in my hand, and now I'm starting to ditch the kill pieces, I think.
So I could be pressuring HQ, but the thing is, it's a somewhat expendable rig, and you'd be surprised how much you have to keep drawing.
And all you have to wait for is the spy on the top of R&D.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, levy number 2.
And you've got Sharpshooter, Deus Ex, Entertainer, NT, and what's the furthest one?
So this is
another Sharpshooter.
This is another moment where I've kind of opened up a fast advance window for you.
This clock's gone.
I've got no clot. I've got no SMC. I mean, I remembered what a big mistake it was, the not having the first SMC, but this time I just don't have the MU. I wasn't keen on dropping some of my rig.
I'm not sure I saw it as much as I saw the first time. because I just thought, I think I wasn't going to put anything in a remote with that rig sitting there.
Right.
And yeah, no, I hadn't had more fast advance.
Installing 3 sports hoppers.
Well, credits have got out of hand again.
As I've become more comfortable with the deck, the sports hopper is one of the cards I've started to use a bit more. It's quite a powerful tool. Like if you just recognize which situations it almost pays for itself, when you can use the triple link, and also that like hard dig can be quite valuable.
Yeah.
Just for smoothing out your kind of the second and third run through the deck. They're kind of more like an Earthrise hotel almost.
Yeah, because you get 3 for each trash of the tech riders there. Tech
Exactly.
trader, sorry, tech trader.
Well, once you've got the full setup out, they actually make a good amount of money. But even if you only have a couple, it can be quite solid.
So you're running an HQ now. I think surely they're piling up in there.
There's one.
So much pile up. And it's a game! Diverse access, sniped.
You must have had a couple. I think with another deck, it would have been the legwork would have tried to close it out.
Yeah, alright. Did you have a legwork in...
No, the influence is so tight. You basically got some would say 1 flex influence, some would say 3. So you'd have to give up something like your clot to get a legwork in there.
You know, I think I just had 2 or 3 left in hand. Cool. Well, thanks, William. So that's our first game, and join us again for the flip side. Thanks.
Thanks.